Hello and welcome everybody to round 3 front 9 coverage of the 2020 Ledgestone Insurance Open presented by Grip Equipment and Discraft, the world leader in disc sports. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here again by Tristan Tanner, and we move to the treacherous Lake Eureka course, the infamous Lake Eureka.
Yeah, we played the first 2 rounds at Northwood Gold, which is a very wooded course. If you haven't watched those, go check that out. But we are now at Eureka Lake, which is the opposite course.
Completely opposite.
We went from having to hit tight lines to now hitting placement, landing zone shots, and staying in bounds.
Staying in bounds is absolutely the key out here. I would say even par was even a scratch-rated round at this course, which is pretty unique when it comes to the 2 properties that we have to play this week. We have an awesome card here. We have Paul Ulibarri, team captain of Discraft, Gavin Rathbun of Discmania, Noah Meintsma with Innova, and Alden Harris, a young kid from Georgia throwing Prodigy.
Yeah, super exciting card. A lot of young players, and it's going to be a really exciting round.
Yeah, a couple of huge arms as well. I know for a fact that Noah and Gavin both can throw a mile. Mm-hmm. I know Alden does have a pretty good arm himself, and Yuli is now the veteran on tour. So very technical player. Hole 1, what do you think about this opening hole?
For our righty backhand players, they're all just going to be playing some sort of probably flat to hyzer shot. You're just trying to get over this little berm and somewhere down the hill, but not too far down the hill, because the farther downhill you are, the more uphill you have for this second shot.
And there is a lot of weird wind play. When you get up to the basket on that second shot, if you throw your second shot too high, there is a sneaky wind that can blow you into the water OB. Here is Yuli with a nuke.
Yep, getting it up to flat. That's a beautiful shot.
That's exactly what the hole's chalked up for.
Yep, and not too far down the hill. He'll have just a pretty easy putter shot up to the basket. Gavin, I wouldn't be surprised if he bites off a good bit.
I think this is Cloudbreaker from Gavin. There's a little drift on it. We've been starting to see a little bit more of Gavin this year. He is touring full-time. He's from the Chicagoland area and has every shot to compete with the best.
Noah going for a little bit more turn on his shot.
And that is crushed.
Those are 3 just amazing drives.
I love that that is the shape that the hole requires the players to throw.
And this is Gavin's D1 that he absolutely loves.
Alden.
He'll be out. My bad. Yes.
And there's that OB right. He's got a challenge, and that is the mistake that a lot of players are throwing, trying to get that drift, but the disc just does not have enough to come back out of the flight. Very not skippy grass we have on this course, especially on the hole 1 green.
Yeah, especially throwing these uphill shots. Gavin yanked that one a little bit out of his hand.
Might be on the edge. He might have something up to the basket. That's a solid up and down.
Yeah, and with where Gavin's shot is, he might be on the rocks, but we do get relief.
Oh,
boy.
monkey paw. I don't know, Yuli. That's okay. We forgive you.
Great putt.
And Alden, I believe you said, is 19 years old from Georgia?
Yep, 19 from Georgia. He has been playing some of the bigger events this year.
Okay, that is, I think he forgave himself on that one.
Yeah, that's a great 3 putt for really just after not a great upshot.
Gavin looks like he is safe.
And there are some tricky putts over here.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, that's how you play hole 1.
And it's a really good hole to get that opening birdie on because this front nine is very hard to score on in certain parts. So it's good to have a little padding before you start the back nine here. Hole number 2 is one of those holes. We have a 90-degree, super tight fairway, par 4. We have water on the left, OB roped all the way down the right side, and we're flying right towards this elbow where a lot of players like to land their drive. And as you can see, the fairway likes to slant the entire way towards the water.
Yeah, and this green is very tight, and like you said, with that slanting movement down to the water, it's really hard to get discs stuck where you want, and it's really easy to either be too high up on the hill with the death putt or just in the water.
And we see this tee shot attacked so many different ways, and the roller is becoming a lot more popular, especially if you're trying to get a little bit aggressive and put that disc farther down that second part of the fairway. He is in play, but he might have to throw a faster disc to get to that basket if he wants a birdie.
Yeah, being on that left side just makes the distance quite a bit longer.
And that's a pretty solid sidearm from Noah. I think that grass is just made out of Velcro and sucked it in. It's nice to see 3 different types of plays on this hole.
Yeah, a lot of this course is just however you feel comfortable attacking these holes is what you need to stick with. Needs to sit down.
Which I think is interesting because Northwoods does require you to throw very specific shapes on a lot of the holes. So it's cool to have the players get to open up and let their personal style come out a bit more. Alden trying to go from the high side. Yeah, inside circle 2. Kind of a dangerous look at the basket. And I will mention, I'm not sure if I've ever seen Noah Meintsma in shades.
Yeah, he has been rocking these new ones, and he's very stylish.
Yeah,
right
I like
now.
this character he's putting out here. Cool guy mode. That's got to flatten. It's going to sit down. I believe that was a Raptor from Uli.
That should be just fine. Being a little bit longer takes a little bit of the death putt factor out of it. Sit down.
We've been seeing some interesting reactions off these new Pro Tour pads on the pole. I still don't know if it helps or hurts the reactions of the disc as Noah slides his up there.
Little half run.
And as you can hear, the wind is starting to rip. That's a good putt from Uli.
Thank you.
Three pars and one birdie is pretty common on this hole, and to not have any OB strokes is actually pretty impressive. Moving on to hole number 3, there's a couple lines on this hole. The most obvious is just the straight at it with either mid or putter. There's a pretty sneaky hyzer line that some players opt for on the right side through the trees, and then there's a forehand that tests this OB road or path on the left side that you have to skip back over towards the basket.
And it's one of those holes where if you hit an early tree, you can get a really nasty reaction out of bounds. So it's very important to have a precise shot. And it looked like Uli was trying to go flex and almost gets back in bounds, but definitely a misfire there from him. And that is that exact reaction I was talking about. The little bit of roll bounce with that clockwise spin. Shoots the disc off to the left.
And this is a shot Noah's very good at with his Nova. Just a little bit early.
Man.
And yeah, that kick, like you said, just happens every time.
And that's why I think, you know, as much as players do sometimes feel comfortable hitting this gap with a backhand, the counterclockwise spin of a righty forehand actually aids them in losing that stroke out of bounds and actually gaining it back, potentially getting a kick off to the right. Uli going with another sidearm. That's a zone. That's a good recovery.
That's a really good recovery.
Oh, no. A little bit short from Noah. And this is Noah for a bogey, I believe.
Yep. Oh,
no.
Lips out right side.
And that hurts. I believe that's like the third shortest hole in the course. Hate taking a 5 on that one.
Yeah, it's one that feels right in front of you, but it's so easy to go OB on.
The OB in the next few holes is just so tight.
I just want to send a huge thank you out to all of our Innova throwers that have supported the Tour Series program. Every player on Team Star and Champion has a special signature disc available at the Innova factory store and at retailers around the world. Huge part of what keeps us able to do what we love and be professional disc golfers out there on tour. So thank you so much for supporting it.
Hole 4, I like to say, is hole 3 on steroids and slightly reversed. We have the OB now on the right side, but any one of these trees that you kick coming down this hill can send you into trouble.
Yeah, this hole is extremely downhill in the second half. It doesn't look like it here on the coverage, but you have to really play a much straighter shot than you think to get anywhere close to this basket.
The players have to choose this left gap or the right gap. I think if you are feeling good, that left gap is the most open. But as you can see, he just turned his over just a tiny bit too much and did not get rewarded for hitting that gap. Uli going common, it looks like.
Playing a little bit more of a late flip. That's just a little too much hyzer.
Left side is scrambleable if you get about halfway down the fairway. Gavin puts a good move on this. He might be short left, but that's a good kick.
Great tree kick.
He's about pin high. Just a bit too high. Caught kind of the nose up and drifted off left for Noah. He's got a tough downhill sidearm here.
That needs to sit down.
Oh, no. There it is again.
That downhill just gets you on that approach. A little bit more fade out than there normally would be.
It feels like the ground kind of just falls out from under you and the disc just keeps going. Uli, as the camera zooms out.
He is pretty deep in there.
He is deep in the woods, folks.
Looks to be going with some sort of just pitch out. Didn't quite get out.
And he's still outside circle 2, it looks like.
There's no reason to even try to save that. Just take your bogey, get off the hole.
Yeah, it's a hole that I've talked to a lot of players, and they say they set rules for themselves about how far they need to be to run the basket. And I would say Gavin's distance I would say justifies a run, and that's a good birdie putt.
Yeah, that's a great birdie to get. One that definitely is a bonus birdie on this
Absolutely.
course.
And Noah off to a bit of a slow start here, going out of bounds on his second shot and missing the putt. And there's another bogey for Alden. It's just going to show you that not only is this hole very challenging off the tee, but some of the reactions you can get can cost you strokes just instantly.
Yep. Moving on to hole number 5, it's definitely one of the more unique holes that we play around this baseball field, with an OB line long wrapping all the way around the fairway. Most players are just going to be playing some sort of long pushing hyzer. If they want to get aggressive somewhere just in circle 2, you're not really trying to park this basket, but a lot of players do choose the layup more out to the right side. Gavin will be going for it though.
That doesn't look too bad. That looks like it's moving left pretty
great.
well.
Oh, that's an incredible
That's
shot.
an awesome shot from Gavin. And that looks okay if it starts pushing left now. And just too
Wow.
long.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you try to play a little bit too safe on your aggressive line.
And Uli, I see the nuke in his hand. I know what he wants. He doesn't like it, and that has a max distance turn on it. That's going to go OB deep. And this is a common start for a lot of players on this course. It starts to feel like damage control pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. This one's a little bit more overstable. And that's a good shot. And this is one where any OB goes to this drop zone, which is still a pretty tricky shot.
Yeah, I would say it's still about 350 feet as Alden goes to about 45 on this elevated pin. I actually don't know what that glow disc is he just threw. Potentially a nuke again. But
That's
it worked.
a good shot. No, with the long bid.
Mm. Oh, no. So close from Alden. That was
A
brutal.
lot of metal on that one.
And Gavin gets the 2.
Great too.
Gavin is taking 1.63 strokes in the field with that 2. It's a birdie and a half.
Yeah, and back-to-back birdies as well.
Yeah, on 2 very challenging holes. That's taken some serious strokes on the field. And those are the holes. 3, 4, 5 are the ones where you can start piling up these bogey strokes, and it starts to feel like you have to catch up rather than attack. Hole number 6, probably the hardest par 4 on the course to birdie. 885 feet. It looks wide open, but there's that OB rope again, wrapping all the way around the fairway. Dogleg right. Oh, look, OB on the left as well. So make sure you put it straight in the middle of the fairway and far.
Yeah, this is one where players normally play a pretty aggressive hyzer on the first shot, and then a lot of players elect to lay up and take their 4.
Yeah, this hole averaging a 4.63, so the 4 actually is almost feeling like a birdie in regards to taking strokes in the field. Gavin puts out a pretty nice hyzer in the middle.
And this is one where if you're trying to get aggressive, the left side makes the second shot a little bit shorter. No, we're just playing that safe hyzer right to the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, this one is danced back and forth between a par 4 and a par 5, just due to the scoring spread. Great line from Uli.
Yeah, it looks to be the same disc from the last hole, just committing a little bit more.
Yeah, and he kept it on the right side, so he has a little bit shorter distance to the basket.
And this is a shot that really fits Alden's game. He really likes that hyzer release and just flipping something up slightly.
Yeah, it's interesting. He does almost kind of have like a Barry Schultz-esque type of release. He throws a little bit nose up, but he does throw a little quicker than Barry used to. A little bit more speed-oriented.
This one needs to sit down. That's great.
And that's a great position for that layup 4. This looks like a distance driver here.
And
oh, no.
that is not going to get back in bounds.
And that is in the playground.
Yep.
I see a nuke in Yuli's hands, too.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he wants that birdie. Oh.
He put a lot into that one.
And that's got to sit down. Oh.
And that's unfortunate, but that is the miss you want. If you're going to go OB somewhere, you want to go left of the basket so you at least get to advance.
Yeah, he'll be inside circle 1 with that look. Still a pretty solid shot from how far back he was. That had to be at least 450 feet.
This looks great from Gavin. Just outside the circle, looks like.
And he's throwing the disc really well.
Yep, clean releases. Looks like he's putting it right where he wants it.
And that's the scary part about this shot is to get it to land next to the basket, you have to hang it out over the OB almost the entire way.
Yeah, this is one where the grass on the right side of the rope is really sticky.
Yes.
And on the left side of the rope, it's very quick. This is a PA1 that Alden really loves for all of his approaches.
And Uli for par. And he went with a really shallow step putt there. Just missed it. We've all made that face before.
Yep.
That's the low putt face. And the struggles continue for Noah. It's going to be his fifth bogey stroke of the round. Solid par there from Alden.
Yep, that's just an executed game plan. And Uli, with the unfortunate OB left, is also taking a bogey.
Hole number 7, shortest hole in the course, par 3, OB all down the left side. There is a creek. Probably won't be getting your disc back if you go in there. OB road on the right. It's just really a straight shot or a little sidearm.
Yeah, this is one where it feels like you can breathe a little bit, almost. A birdie that is more right in front of you. But it is definitely not an easy hole.
This is one where a lot of players are trying to pad their bogey strokes at this point. Gavin puts one pin high just outside circle 1.
Pretty fortunate reaction off the tree there. Should have a good look at the basket.
Noah looks like he's going with some sort of steep hyzer flip sidearm. Ooh, I like that. If it's coming out. Oh, nasty tree kick. And another out of bounds for Noah.
Uli with a similar type of shot.
And that might have been a buzz that he
that's
flicked.
what I thought it was.
That was a super smooth sidearm.
Yep, very technical.
Yeah, Uli, one of those players that does flick almost any disc in his bag, which is super interesting.
Just a little miscue there. Noah does have an opportunity to save. He looks to be somewhere in circle 2.
Here's Gavin for birdie. There it is.
That's a great stretch. 3 birdies and 4 holes.
It's a good putt there from Alden. Saves the par after kind of a silly second shot. He knew it. And Noah put his little deep, about 15 feet. No problem.
Hole number 8 is kind of an island fairway. You do have to cross over this little creek to become inbounds. And then once you're there, you're going to just want to get as much distance possible off that first shot to give you some sort of look into this peninsula green with OB left, and then there is a little bit of water on the right as well.
Not an easy green to access. And again, distance off the tee is absolutely key. It's not enough to just hit the gap. You have to get it far enough to where you don't have to throw another distance driver on the second shot. And that was just super, super smooth from Gavin. Disc is coming out of his hand really well.
Yep.
What disc do you think he's throwing here?
I wonder if it's a
I wonder if it's a nuke.
again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one has great flip on it. And that's ideal.
Crunched. And he will now be able to attack the green with a slower disc and land it a bit softer. Great move there.
Get through.
I think
Wow.
he did.
Now it just needs to not be in the parking lot.
Oh,
and that's
man.
just fine.
That is a blessing from the disc golf gods right there. This is a tough hole.
Noah getting some of that as well.
He did get it, but yeah, he's going to have a tough look for birdie here. Interested to see what he's going to throw. Looks like maybe a leopard.
Yeah, with that much hyzer.
That's drifting nicely.
Wow.
Wow.
And that's a disc Noah's been trusting for quite a while.
I would say he's one of the best leopard throwers we have on tour right now. Gavin also going with something flippy. And that's headed for the creek if it doesn't sit down.
That'll be a look.
See if Alden can capitalize on that nice fortune.
And this is that same mid-range he's trusted a couple of times. Stays up. That
Not too bad,
yeah,
actually.
edge of circle putt. And that is all you need on this hole.
Oh, yeah. Uli going common, it looks like. You see how high he threw it. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, beautiful. Little pro backspin off the
Backboard.
tree.
And that is my comment, just to let you know.
Oh, so you're taking credit for that shot?
Yes, all my energy was in that shot. Sweet run there from Noah.
Little spin putt.
That's got to sit down.
Sit down.
After such a good stretch, he wanted to keep going, and I really don't knock him for that decision.
Yeah, sometimes you're just feeling it.
Yeah.
And when you're feeling it, there's no better time to run it. So.
Exactly. And speaking of feeling it, there's a birdie from Alden. Gavin taps in an unfortunate bogey. Luckily, he did get quite a few birdies before to pad those bogey strokes. Uli with the backboard birdie. Not a bad spread in that hole. And we will move into hole number 9.
And this is the famous bridge hole. Throwing through the uprights onto this island green this year, which is a little bit different of a shape than we've had in years past. But you're really just trying to throw any disc in your bag, could be putter, all the way up to fairway driver, that you think you can just get it on this island.
And the interesting thing about this hole is the fact that there is some interesting wind out there that you don't feel until you get out there. What feels like a tailwind might be a super strong tailwind out there. And Uli looks like he just wanted to take some sort of safe route through something overstable out there. What is Alden going with here?
I believe this is an FX2, which is an overstable fairway driver. He likes this anti-release.
Oh, man. He goes hard flex. No.
Yeah, wow.
And he gave him the T-pose.
Yep.
We will see if he is in or out. He's making the group make the decision here. That looks clean.
Wow, that's great. And that when you're
Super
taking
smooth.
that fairway driver, you do have to push that right side of the bridge.
Yeah, there's two schools of thought here. You know, do you play to have a 30-foot look at the basket, or do you try to pin it? And it's two completely different shots.
Yep. Gavin asking for it to sit down. That's going to be that 30-footer.
He might get some redemption on that putt. Here's Gavin lining up the straddle putt here from about 35. Just right. And just left for Uli.
Oh, wow. By a millimeter.
And it's one of those things where if it was just on the rope, it might not have been enough. But the fact that just a tiny sliver of it was inbounds, crossing over the rope, he is safe. There's another blessing for Alden, and he has a nice, easy 15, 20-footer. I'm so glad I did not jinx that.
Yep.
We were both thinking the same thing there.
Mhm.
And that will do it, folks. As you can see, Lake Eureka has some teeth, and even some seasoned veterans have had a complete roller coaster on this front 9. Thank you all for tuning in. We will catch you on the back 9 shortly. Again, make sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper Media. And again, I'm Brian Earhart, Tristan Tanner.
See you guys.
See ya. I almost almost just said